2023 was a crazy year for Raleigh, North Carolina's housing market. What will 2024 bring us? I'm Alison Wojnarowski with the W Real Estate Group in Raleigh, and I'm going to give you the 3 top trends to expect for 2024. And stick around to the end to get some insider advice if you're looking to buy or sell in the greater Raleigh area in 2024. The first trend will surprise some, but Raleigh's growth rate will be less than what we've seen in years past. Now, that doesn't mean Raleigh won't continue to grow overall, as it's still projected to be one of the fastest growing metros by adding over 200,000 people by 2028. But the rate at which we will grow will be less than the blistering pace we've seen over the past 5 years. Between 2016 and 2021, Raleigh was the second fastest growing metro in the nation at a rate of 11.1%, or roughly 1.85% per year. The rate we are expected to grow by through 2028 is roughly 1.55%, putting us at the 4th fastest growing metro. And while a 0.3% reduction may not seem like a lot, that equals roughly 5,000 fewer people per year than what we saw in years past. The U.S. News & World Report's 2023 to 2024 fastest growing metros also has Raleigh at number 21 on the list at a 1.22% growth rate. So why am I highlighting this? Well, it's showing that while we are still growing, we are no longer the hottest place in the nation, and we will see fewer relocations here than years past. There are many reasons why this is occurring, but some main reasons involve the economy causing fewer people to move in general in the US, and tech companies here are not hiring at the same rapid pace that they were during the pandemic. There's also been a trend of people wanting to move towards vacation destinations, like Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and various cities in Florida, which has cut into some of our relocation numbers. And we were an incredibly popular metro to relocate to during the pandemic. But not all of those people are sticking, as we have seen people moving back to where they came from due to the back to office mandates to be back with family and more. So housing market wise, we will see fewer people moving into and within the area than years past, meaning a lesser likelihood of extreme competition when purchasing. The next trend is the return of negotiation. Negotiations with sellers are now back on the table when thinking about offers to purchase, repairs, and appraisals. We're no longer seeing ridiculously high offers with massive amounts of non-refundable money put down, with conditions of no requested repairs and appraisal waivers. It honestly has felt more like a buyer's market over the last couple of months, but the interest rates coming down will certainly introduce more competition on the buyer side throughout the year. But for the market as a whole, I see some level of negotiation staying on the table even as the rates drop. Now, that doesn't mean some houses in prime locations won't see situations with very to little room to negotiate, but the triangle as a whole should still set us up for a fair transaction for both parties. The last trend we will see is a more obvious one, but the market will closely follow the interest rates. Many prospective homebuyers and even sellers looking to buy up or down have been watching the rates closely. And as we see the rates continue to drop throughout the spring and summer months, we will see a spike in activity and competition. We will see this especially around Federal Reserve rate cut announcements, which they already have indicated they are looking to cut rates multiple times in 2024. And many economists expect mortgage rates to gradually drop to the 6% range by end of year. But the key will be the timing, as there is debate as to when the rate cuts will start happening. If the rate cuts start during the Fed's first meeting in March and again in May, we will see an increase in activity in the market. But on the other side, if the Federal Reserve wants to wait to cut rates until later in the year, we will see a slower summer market. As far as the end of the year, with the consensus of rates continuing to decline throughout year's end, I would expect we will see a busier fall and early winter market than we have in years past. So as you can see, the interest rates will closely impact the housing market, which brings both positives and negatives. With a more active market, there's more inventory of homes to choose from, but that could bring more competition in some areas. However, as I mentioned before, we aren't seeing the record relocations to Raleigh combined with record low rates like we saw back in 2021 and 2022. So even with increased competition, it will still be a fairly balanced market overall. All right, moving on to some advice for this 2024 market. For the buyers, my biggest pieces of advice would be to educate yourself early and commit when you're ready. Prepare in advance by knowing what you can afford, what type of house you're looking for, and where in the triangle you want to buy to narrow down your options. When you do decide to jump into the market and you find a house that meets your criteria, be ready to put that offer in. Hesitation in active markets can either lose you the house or potentially allow time for other offers to come in that may drive up the price. Sellers, if you can hold out until those interest rates fall, competition will be back. But it won't be like years past where houses sold as is. So make sure you get your house in good shape before listing. And while it may be a pain, even just a new coat of paint in certain areas has proven to make a big difference on activity. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you need any real estate assistance in the greater Raleigh area, please don't hesitate to reach out. So many have already contacted us from these videos, and we would love to hear from you. I'm Alison Wojnarowski. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.